Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. We're going old school today.
Let's get right into it today. Exciting head-to-head matchup. If you're wondering, what do the bottles look like? I'm going to have to fish for photos online. We don't have either one of these bottles, but thanks to the kindness of this community, we have these samples. So let's introduce what we got here. These bottles were gifted to us by our friends Beerbird and PeachCoke, and if those names make you think those guys sound like fun,
They are.
Completely agree. Absolutely, you're right. All right, what we're drinking today. Old Granddad 16-year bourbon. 16 years.
I'm excited about this one.
We love OGD.
It's got good hype behind it. We like OGD.
We do. This is not the same mash bill as OGD, apparently. The ones that we've got, anyways. This is an undisclosed high rye mash bill, aged 16 years, 100 proof. MSRP, this is from 2024, was $195 according to Breaking Bourbon. So you're probably finding it for more or less out there. The other bottle, Knob Creek 18-year. This is 100 proof. Again, mash bill is 77% corn, 13% rye, 10% malted barley. And the MSRP on this one in 2022 was $170. I've seen it for closer to $200. So we're in the neighborhood of $200 on each one of these bottles, most likely. And what we're going to find out today is these high age 100 proof beauties. They're both gorgeous.
Yeah.
Are either one of them worth that price tag? We love Jim Beam products, especially Old Granddad, especially some of the good Knob Creek bottles. Let's get into these, find out what we got here. Again, blind, no idea. Can't wait.
We don't drink a lot of Knob Creek. Everybody loves it. We have like a couple bottles on the shelf, but in general, over the last few years of doing videos, they kind of pop in here and there, but I'm kind of excited to see it in the lineup.
Yeah, and at Knob Creek, the 120 proof single barrels, and that's the stuff we really get into.
Yeah.
The 9-year single barrel reserve actually won us over. It wasn't our favorite back in the day. Lower proof stuff we don't go crazy for, although we did have a bottle of 12-year that disappeared pretty quickly from our shelf.
Well, we know they're aged, but this does have almost like a heaviness to it. Like the oak is really prominent.
Yeah, very. We're going to say a lot of the same things here, I suspect. The oak shows up. The vanilla shows up. There is some red fruit there. It does smell musty, though. This is the wandering around in an old brick house smell here on glass number 1.
Yeah, to me, these both smell very oaky. And they just give you this, and it's in your head because you know that they're aged, but it just gives you this vibe that these are like, we're old school.
We're old school, yeah. This one here, glass 2, is more leathery, I think. And a little bit of that vanilla, peanutty, candy bar vibe you get from Knob Creek stuff.
Man, your palate is, not even your palate, your nose is on fire.
Hey, follow your nose. Find something good to drink, right?
It's what didn't Trix tell you that?
I think that was Fruit Loops.
Oh yeah, that would make more sense. Toucan Sam.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready to do some drinking of bourbon today. Cheers.
Cheers. There's just like a cherry sweetness, almost like cherry juice. The back end has a nice oak presence. It's not, I was thinking this was going to be like overly oaked.
Yeah.
It actually has a really wonderful oak presence and a little bit of, I'm thinking like black leather or something, just on the finish.
Man, if I didn't know better, I would think that this was a rye. It is quite spicy, but that bright red cherry, very sweet, very bright. I mean, that's the surprising story of glass number 1 so far. I'm with you. I thought that this was going to be very dark, rich. You know, it coats really well.
There's definitely some peppery notes on this one, which is interesting.
That leather note is coming through now more and more for me. It makes me want to go sit in the leather chair over there and kick my feet up for a while. That's what this whiskey will be best for, I think.
Yeah.
Is sitting, exploring, enjoying, and that's what you want. Remember, the whole point of this is to say these high-age whiskeys, are they worth that price tag? If it's a whiskey that you can explore, that you can gain new flavors from, where the finish lingers, that it's doing something for you and taking you someplace, Glass 1's currently on track to do that. I haven't, by the way, had a second sip yet. Finish is lingering.
It actually feels really warm. It's a little bit cozy. I don't know if it's something about the spiciness of this one, but it's drying out my palate, but that finish really lasts.
It is interesting. You mentioned drying out your palate. Completely on board with that. But when it first hits your palate, the tip of your tongue, that buttery brown sugar slurry that sits on top of your oatmeal when you mix it really, really unhealthy the way that I really like my oatmeal sometimes. Yeah, what a ride. It goes from almost oily to very dry on the palate, but it takes forever. Interesting whiskey here. It's lasting.
Yeah, I get a little, I don't know why, but a little bit of a seaside note to it. So I think there's a little saltiness on this one as well.
Interesting.
I don't normally give that, but that's just kind of in my head.
Look, if it evokes a feeling and it takes you someplace again, it's doing what whiskey of this price and age
should.
It's what they're meant to do. Okay, glass number 1. Great job. Do you want to keep going on this one, or should we switch it up and go to glass 2?
I was going to ask, because I could have one more, but I feel like we did it proud on that first go.
Yeah.
And maybe we move on to the second one.
The way that the finish is lingering here, I think I want to take a beat with this one. We'll cleanse our palates, and we'll get on to glass number 2.
I was pleasantly surprised on that one. Aged whiskeys can be hit or miss for me.
This one has a lot more red color. The last one was very amber gold. Mm-hmm. This one is much more brown red. This looks like the type of whiskey that's going to appeal to me, just as a guy who learned his colors at a very young age. You should be impressed by that. I'm ready to go in for a sip here, glass number 2.
Yep. Got a little bananas on the nose. Ooh, this one has almost a sweetness right up front, and then like honey roasted peanuts come through kind of mid palate there. Interesting on this one that for both of these glasses, I get the age on the nose. The noses for me are just a little bit underwhelming. They're a little bit off-putting for me.
Yeah.
But the palates are both wonderful on these.
To me, the noses take me straight to the rick house, which I love. So even though it might not be the most appealing nose across the board, that taking you somewhere, again, it's evoking a feeling that I love. And by the way, glass number 2 here, compared to glass number 1, I think that the flavors are a touch more subtle, and they're more cohesive, I think. That cherry, vanilla, brown sugar, and the rich oak, the leather, it's all here, but it's almost like a single scoop of ice cream, right? Like you don't have to pick and choose to get all the flavors from your banana split. It all shows up in one scoop. That's kind of glass 2 in a nutshell for me, and I think glass 2 is the crowd pleaser between these two.
Well, I got the sense that it's tasted a little bit like brittle.
Okay, yeah.
So you get like the nuttiness, there's a little bit of honey, there's, I'm not going to say peanut butteriness to it, but there's just something like more savory to it. Mm-hmm. This one the glass number 1 has a little bit more sweetness to it, definitely a palate thing. It's a little bit more desserty. Interesting that you said crowd pleaser. I'm going to drink both of them and see how I feel about that. Because I immediately thought, ooh, glass number 1 had just a little bit more brightness to it. And to me, that means like people will like it more.
You're not wrong, actually. Yeah, I when I think of bourbon, I think rich, I think oak forward, I think tons of vanilla, and I think those dark, rich flavors that are so appealing to me as a bourbon drinker. You know, if I'm going to spend there's a pile of money on a glass of whiskey, on a bottle of whiskey. If I'm going to spend that much, I want to get what I want to get. To me, that glass would seem more in line with what more bourbon drinkers want, but that's the difference between our palates, and I think that that's an
100%.
Important thing to take note of here, particularly if you're going to spend $180 some on one of these bottles. You better know if you're going to like it or not. So that's my first recommendation: is go try one of these at a bar before you buy either one of these bottles. Unless you're just a Jim Beam super fan and you really want one, or an OGD or a Knob Creek super fan. I have to be honest though, if at first blush, we really don't spend that much on whiskey. We try not to buy expensive bottles. Sometimes they're gifted to the channel, whatever it might be. It's rare that we'll go for one, and we passed on both of these over the last couple of years. But I don't think I would have been disappointed
if we had purchased it.
Yeah, I think you're finding what you would hope to find in these two bottles. There's going to be those of you that are turning it off right now going, these guys are crazy. Who would spend that much money on whiskey? I'm saying if you were to spend that much money, if you were one of those people that says sometimes I want something a little more special on my shelf, and this is something that interests me, I don't think you would be disappointed in this whiskey. If I had to guess, and again, I have no idea, glass number 1 strikes me as Old Grandad. Even though I know it's not the same mash bill as the other Old Granddads that we've tried, it does strike me as being an Old Grandad product. It also even at 16 years aged, strikes me as being the least, a little less cohesive than Glass 2, which you would think that the longer it's in the barrel, the more cohesive it becomes. So that's why I'm thinking that, but enjoying both of these.
Yeah, this is really interesting because I do think they're both delicious.
Yeah.
The $200 price tag is just rough.
It's a major deterrent. Yes, it's a major deterrent.
So, I mean, if you have the money and you want to spend it, and this is how you want to spend it, great. I wouldn't say, like, I'm going to come forward and say, like, you should definitely get these, because aged whiskeys, to me, I don't know if I appreciate them as much as maybe I should.
Your point is very valid, though. I think if you're the type of person who looks at a $100 plus bottle and goes, who would ever spend the money on that? I'm definitely not going to do that. No, of course we're not going to recommend this. What I'm saying is, if these bottles are of interest to you, if you have the spare coin and you're a collector, I get it. I don't personally think that I would spend the money for either one of these. We've also passed on Russell's 15, the latest batch, because that price skyrocketed. We've passed on a lot of well-aged, high-cost whiskey this year and last year. And these are two that I would probably pass on again. But I will say this. Whatever's in glass number 2 is really hitting my palate.
Yeah.
And when I think of special edition, great whiskey that I'm excited to sit with by myself or with friends to share, to explore, glass number 2 it's squarely hitting my palate in a way that glass number 1, now that I've gone back and forth, is not.
I've actually found the A/B testing on this really interesting, because I thought for sure that first go, glass number 1, way better than glass number 2.
Yeah.
And then as I A/B tested, I'm on glass number 2.
You're on that as well.
I'm on the train. There's something about glass number 2. I feel like, that balance in here just really works. There's something about glass number 1. I think the more you drink it, gets a little bit, that cherry note kind of gets a little bit too strong. The agedness does come through the more that you drink it.
Yeah, bitterness. And it seems you get a flavor over here, a flavor over there.
Yeah.
Everybody, hands in the air. Glass number 2 is still that single scoop with all the flavors in it, I feel like. All right, so we know which one we both prefer. It's the Julie Pour. What is in that glass of cohesive goodness, that tasty little glass of tastiness?
The Julie Pour is the Knob Creek 18 year.
I would have guessed that.
It screamed Knob Creek to me from the first taste.
And it is delicious. It is wonderful. And that is definitely one to order at a bar, or if you're going in with friends, or add it to a group collection or something. Totally get it. We would not be buying that, but super glad that we got to try it. Thank you so much again to PeachCoke and Beerbird for sharing these with us. Let us know, have you tried one or both of these bottles? Are they mainstays on your shelf? Are they things that you think are worth the coin? Let us know in the comments from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's really good.
Yeah, I still like them both a lot. They're both very good.
Want more Bourbon Van? Join us on Patreon for as little as $3 a month and get access to exclusive videos and live streams, music and whiskey pairings, and guaranteed opportunities to purchase our single barrel whiskey selections, plus obligatory Mavis photos with nearly every post.